Good evening, children. Let's move to the chapter Lifelines of National Economy. Today, this chapter would be finished. In short, firstly, we should just go through the main topics. So, the topics which we have to study are means of transport, pipelines, waterways and seaports, airways and communication, and after that, the last one is international trade and tourism. So, now, firstly, let's begin with what are the means of transport. See, as you all know, that the earth is endowed with three important domains. The first one is land, the second one is water, and the third one is air. After that, the means of transport are land, water, air. So, inland comes your roadways, railways, and pipelines. Whereas, if I talk about water, there are two types, inland and overseas. If children we talk about air, then we are having the options of domestic airways, international airways, and your public undertaking and private airlines. Now, if we talk about ancient times, in ancient times, people often covered long distances on foot. Even today, it is not uncommon for people in rural areas to commute several kilometers every day. Then came bullock carts and carts. Palki was also a means of transport used by the rich and nobles for traveling purposes. The British brought in improvements in horse carriages, cycle, rickshaw, and bicycles also. It became popular in India during colonial period. These are used still. These are used still in some parts of rural India. The advent of the British also saw trains being introduced in many important cities of India. After that, the next point is railways. The Indian Railways is the largest public sector undertaking in the country. The first train was from Mumbai to Thane in the year 1853. And during that time in 1853, this train covered a distance of 34 kilometer. Now after that, the next point is at present you would be knowing, at present Indian Railways have three different gauges. Now what is a gauge? A gauge is the distance between two metal rails on which the wheels of the locomotive roll to learn. And children, you all would be knowing that there are three types of gauge. The first one is the broad gauge, the second one is the meter gauge, and the third one is the narrow gauge. So these are the types. Now my next point is problems. Although railway is the biggest network in India, railways is having, but though there are several problems. As we all know, though railways are important in our nation, in our national economy, rail transport suffers from many problems. Problems are very common: ticketless travelers, thefts and damages, and the most common, chain pulling. अपना गांव अपना शहर आने वाला है तो चेन पुलिंग कर दो, बेस्ट ऑप्शन. After that, the next point is pipelines, waterways, and seaports. So now firstly let's talk about pipelines. This is a new addition to our modes of transport. Pipelines have been used in the past to transport water to various places. Now, there are three important networks. Total 3 networks होते हैं pipeline transportation के. हमारे देश में। पहला है फ्रॉम ऑयल फील्ड्स इन अपर असम टू कानपुर, देन फ्रॉम सलाया इन गुजरात टू जालंधर इन पंजाब, एंड गैस पाइपलाइन फ्रॉम हजीरा इन गुजरात connects Jagdishpur in Uttar Pradesh. There are certain advantages also. The advantages are it can be laid under water or over mountains and under varied terrain. It requires only the initial costs of laying pipes and have almost negligible running or repair and maintenance costs. But अभी हम लोगों ने बात करी कि इसमें कोई खर्चा नहीं, बट इट इज हैविंग सर्टेन प्रॉब्लम्स आर आल्सो देयर. देखो जहाँ पे एडवांटेज होता है वहाँ पे उसका कुछ ना कुछ डिसएडवांटेज होता है या उसकी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स भी होती हैं. तो अब किस टाइप की इसमें प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं? द प्रॉब्लम्स आर ऑफ जो इसका कॉस्ट ऑफ लेइंग है. द कॉस्ट ऑफ लेइंग पाइपलाइंस इज वेरी हाई. पाइपलाइन को डालना ही बहुत महंगा होता है. डेंजर ऑफ लीकेज. माय सेकंड पॉइंट इज डेंजर ऑफ लीकेज. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट पॉलिटिकल प्रॉब्लम्स इन द पाइपलाइंस. देखो पॉलिटिकल प्रॉब्लम्स इसमें भी आती हैं. लाइक इफ द पाइपलाइन पासेस थ्रू अनदर कंट्री, एक देश से दूसरे देश पाइपलाइन पास हो रही है तो उसमें भी दिक्कतें आती हैं. It may be that the other nation may not allow or certain disturbances may be there. Next point is danger of sabotage and land use restricted. अच्छा, कई जगहों पे जहाँ बहुत कुछ कंस्ट्रक्शन हो चुका है वहाँ पे पाइपलाइन बिछाना आसान नहीं है. The next point is waterways. So, if I talk about waterways, it includes parts of rivers like Godavari, Barak, Krishna, Sundarbans, Buckingham Canal, etc. Inland waterways are the oldest and the cheapest means of transport. Waterways are the cheapest means of transport. देखो एडवांटेज भी होते हैं वाटरवेज के. ये सबसे सस्ता है. Waterways are the cheapest means of transport. Second point is best means of transport to carry bulky and heavy goods at lower costs. बहुत कम पैसे में आप भारी से भारी सामान ले जा सकते हैं और बहुत कम दामों में. अच्छा, now children, what are the major seaports? Yes, any one of you tell me the major seaports fast. Tell me the major seaports. Yes, children, tell me the major seaports. Also, it is total how many are there? See, and on your screen you can see the major seaports I have mentioned. The major seaports are Kandla, Mumbai, Kolkata, Haldia, Paradip, Marmagaon, New Mangalore, Vishakhapatnam, Jawaharlal Nehru Port, Kochi, Tuticorin and Chennai. ये सारे सबसे important वाले हैं. Now children, let's talk about airways and communication. अब मैं start करता हूँ airways and communication से, and today we will finish off this chapter. Okay, so let's talk about airways. Airways provide the fastest means of transport, although they are the costliest ones. It is also the most comfortable and prestigious mode of transportation. for inaccessible, remote, and hostile areas, airways are the best means of transport. During natural and man-made disasters, airways have played a very important or a very vital role. Now children, why do you think air transport is preferred in the northeastern parts of India? देखो इसका सीधा सा रीज़न है that this area is covered with hills and dense forests. Many rivers with their frequent flooding schedule, dissected physiography and international frontiers, which create many problems. Accessibility and movability in these areas is very difficult, and laying roads and railways is a Herculean task. वहाँ पे रेल की पटरी बिछा देना या सड़क बना देना ये बहुत कठिन काम है. So air travel on the other hand is the best option to assess these areas. Air travel जो होता है वो सबसे अच्छा तरीका होता है इन सारी एरियाज को एसेस करने का, इन पे नज़र रखने का. This mode of transport can traverse difficult terrains, dense forests, dreary deserts, large rivers, and even large oceanic stretches with great ease. Though air travel is more expensive, जो देखो air travel होता है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा expensive होता है than any other mode of transport. Special provisions are made to extend the services to the common people in the northeastern states. See, जब भारत को आज़ादी मिली थी at the time of independence, air transport was operated by private operators. Remember, at the time of independence, air transport was operated by private operators. It was nationalized in 1953. इसको nationalize किया गया 1953 में. After liberalization, private sector was allowed to entry into this field. Air India provides domestic and international services. जो Air India का है, जो government का है, वो domestic और international services. Domestic मतलब अपने देश में और international means in other nations. Helicopters are utilized to assess difficult areas and remote and far-flung areas of Jammu Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and the northeastern states. उसके बाद जो पवन हंस हेलीकॉप्टर्स होते हैं, पवन हंस हेलीकॉप्टर्स लिमिटेड supplies its services in offshore operations to oil and nature gas commission. Remember the full form? ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Commission. And for traversing difficult terrains. Many private airlines operate round the clock on domestic and international routes. Some of these are Air Asia, SpiceJet, Go Air, Jet Airways, and Air Deccan, etc. So many others are also there. After this, let's talk about communication. So children, various means of communications have been used by humans ever since they appeared on this earth. देखो जो ये मीन्स थे, जो कम्युनिकेशन के मीन्स थे वो बदलते रहे with the passage of time. These means kept changing with the time. This pace of changing has been very rapid in recent years. Progress in communication has been largely instrumental in placing India in the World League of Knowledge Expansion. After this, progress communication has been largely instrumental in placing India in the World League of Knowledge Expansion. देखो इससे क्या हुआ, जो हमारा देश था वो कॉम्पिटिटिव होता गया. इट गेन्ड कॉम्पिटिटिव स्ट्रेंथ इन एग्रीकल्चर, इंडस्ट्री एंड नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन. After this, means of communication can be divided into personal communication and mass communication. देखो पोस्टल रिटन कम्युनिकेशन, देखो जो पोस्टल रिटन कम्युनिकेशन होता है उसको हम लोग कहते हैं पर्सनल कम्युनिकेशन. पोस्टल रिटन कम्युनिकेशन इज टर्म्ड एज पर्सनल कम्युनिकेशन. Such communications are handled by the Indian Postal Network. India's postal network is rated as the largest in the world. The Indian Postal Network boasts of about 1.5 lakh post offices in the country. सोचो 1.5 लाख पोस्ट ऑफिस है देश में हमारे, और उसमें से भी जो 89% है वो कहाँ पे हैं, वो रूरल एरियाज में है, और जो बचे 11% वो शहरों में है, अर्बन एरियाज में है. It has realized that for quick delivery of mail needed to be sorted out quickly. In order to overcome these problems, a 6 mail channel system has been introduced in big towns and cities. जो 6 चैनल हैं कौन कौन से हैं? The first one is Rajdhani channel, the second one is the Metro channel, the second one is the Green channel, the next one is the Business channel, after that the next one is Bulk Mail channel, and after that periodical channel. See, special letter boxes have been set up. Special letter boxes have been set up at strategic places in those cities where this system exists. Mail is collected to different boxes, each with a distinctive color for the first 3 channels. जो मेल होती है बिजनेस की, मेल ऑफ द बिजनेस, बल्क मेल and periodical channels has to be booked at the concerned post offices. Today, courier services have also entered the field and offer quick service for the same facilities all over the world. Courier services is covering nearly a huge mass of market. India has one of the largest telecom networks in Asia. It is ranked as the 5th largest in the world. याद रखना, इंडिया इज रैंक, जो हमारे यहाँ का टेलीकॉम नेटवर्क है, इसकी वर्ल्ड में रैंकिंग 5th है. इंडिया हैज अबाउट 37,565 telephone exchanges distributed throughout the country. For the past 1 decade or so, telecommunication activities have gained momentum in India. Efforts are going on from both government and non-government sectors to enhance the infrastructure. And simply I would say that the private sector, जो non-government sectors हैं, they had overtaken the market. The focus is to help India's socio-culturally diverse society to become familiar with and apt in using modern telecommunication technology so that our country gets recognition as a nation of technology aware people. See, the telecommunication system, जो हमारा टेलीकॉम सिस्टम है इंडिया में, was thrown open to private companies in 1990s. 1990s के टाइम पे इसको ओपन कर दिया गया था for all sectors. The country is divided into multiple zones called circles, which are roughly along state boundaries. Government and private companies run local and long distance telephone services. Competition has caused prices to fall down, and today calls across India are among the cheapest in the world. Landlines today are facing stiff competition from mobile telephones. देखो, जो हम लोग के जो ऑनलाइन फ़ोन थे वो धीरे धीरे घटते जा रहे हैं. उसको कौन रिप्लेस कर दिया, किसने उसको रिप्लेस किया? इट हैज़ बीन रिप्लेस्ड बाय द मोबाइल फोन्स. By integrating the development in space technology with the communication technology, our country has been able to cover more than two-thirds of the villages in India with STD, subscriber trunk dialing telephone facility. This is known as STD facility. अच्छा, और ये जो फैसिलिटी है 24 आवर्स रहती है गाँव में, शहरों में, हर जगह पे. This has to a large extent helped in uninterrupted communication between villages and towns. सबसे अच्छी चीज़ क्या है कि अब 24 घंटे ये कम्युनिकेशन सर्विस रन करती है. इससे क्या है कि कोई भी मैसेज, कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन शहर से गांव या गांव से शहर अगर पहुंचनी है तो बहुत कम समय में पहुंच जाती है. This has helped in the interchange of information from the grassroots to the higher authorities and vice versa. So children, मास कम्युनिकेशन में टेलीविज़न आता है, रेडियो आता है, न्यूज़पेपर आता है, मैगजीन्स आती हैं, किताबें आती हैं और पिक्चर फिल्म्स भी आती हैं. It is named so as it can communicate ideas, policies and national issues directly to the masses. This helped in creating awareness among the people. Okay, दूसरी चीज़ जो दूरदर्शन है हमारा, दूरदर्शन is the national television network having many channels. It is owned and controlled by the central government. Nowadays, more than 500 private channels broadcast programs related to news, information, education, and entertainment. They operate round the clock. Private television channels with their daily soap operas have become very popular. अच्छा, दूसरी तरफ जो हमारे रीजनल चैनल्स होते हैं, रीजनल चैनल्स आर ऑल्सो इन ग्रेट डिमांड इन रीजन्स ऑफ दियर ऑपरेशन. उसके बाद आता है हमारा AIR. AIR is All India Radio. This AIR, which is also known as Akashvani, is a very forceful mass medium. It broadcasts programs in national, regional, and local languages for people of all religions and all age groups. जो AIR है इसके 200 रेडियो स्टेशंस हैं. The AIR has 200 radio stations and some 327 transmitters. Recently frequency modulation FM, frequency modulation radio station have also been started by private companies. India publishes a large number of dailies and periodicals in different languages from various cities. Newspapers are published in about 100 languages. सोचो कि भारत में करीब 100 भाषाओं में अखबार छपते हैं. India is the hub of commercial films in Asia. एशिया में अगर कोई कब हब है फिल्मों का, मतलब ऐसी जगह जहाँ पे सबसे अधिक फिल्में आती हैं, तो वो इंडिया है. It produces short films, video feature films and video short films. और सब किसके अंडर होता है? CBFC, Central Board of Film Certificate, is the authority which certifies both Indian and foreign films. Now after this, let's talk about international trade and tourism. This is the last chapter. This is the last topic of this chapter. So international trade and tourism, let's talk about international trade. International trade is the exchange of goods and services across international boundaries or territories. While international trade, Silk Route has been present throughout much of history, like its economic, social and political importance has been on the rise in recent centuries. देखो, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन हुआ, ग्लोबलाइजेशन हुआ, मल्टीनेशनल कॉरपोरेशंस, एडवांस्ड मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, outsourcing have all contributed to this rise. देखो, जब इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड होता है, इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड टेक्स प्लेस थ्रू सी रूट्स, जो भी समुद्र के रास्ते होते हैं उससे ये तैयार होता है, तीनों रास्तों से होता है. इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड टेक्स प्लेस थ्रू सी रूट, लैंड रूट एंड एयर रूट्स. इकोनॉमिक प्रोस्पेरिटी ऑफ अ नेशन is measured in terms of its international trade. पर जिस देश के जितने ज़्यादा इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड है, जितना ज़्यादा इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड है, वो देश उतना इकोनॉमिक प्रॉस्पेरस है. In fact, I say international trade is regarded as the economic barometer for a country. देखो, आज के टाइम में no country can survive in isolation. International trade is very important. Trade has two components, import and export. The difference between them is known as balance of trade. This balance is called favorable balance of trade. If the value of export exceeds, देखो, if the value of export exceeds the value of imports, but if the value of import exceeds the value of export, it is known as unfavorable balance of trade. India has trade relations, जो भारत देश के trade relations है, throughout the world, to all geographical regions and with all major trading blocs. The recent trend shows dominance of information technology in the export trade. It has earned considerable foreign exchange for the country and has surpassed export of commodities and goods. At the international level, India has emerged as a software giant during the last 2 decades. Major commodities exported from India whose share is increasing. देखो, भारत के किस किस में शेयर बढ़ता जा रहा है? पहली बात है एग्रीकल्चर एंड अलाइड प्रोडक्ट्स, दूसरा है ओर्स एंड मिनरल्स, थर्ड पॉइंट जेम्स एंड ज्वेलरी, देन chemical and allied products, then engineering goods, and after that petroleum products. See, the commodities imported in India, जो import की जाती है, they are petroleum and its product, coal, coke and briquettes, inorganic chemicals, pearls and precious stones, machinery, fertilizers, cereals, edible oils and newsprint. Now, this topic was about international trade. अब हम लोग थोड़ा सा बात करते हैं टूरिज्म के ऊपर. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट अ बिट अबाउट टूरिज्म. सी, जो ये टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री है, अच्छा पहली बात तो टूरिज्म होता है क्या? लेट्स टॉक अबाउट व्हाट इज टूरिज्म. एनीवन ऑफ यू कैन टेल मी? Define tourism. Send the answer for this. Define tourism. Yes, children, answer this. What is tourism? कुशाग्र, प्रिया, आशी, पारुल, अनिरुद्ध, प्रिया, मिष्ठी, श्लोक, मलय. What do you mean by tourism? Very correct answer, Priya. Good. Kushagra. Okay, now I tell you, it means people traveling for fun, including activities such as sightseeing and camping. अब हम लोग बात करते हैं टूरिज्म के ऊपर. सी, द टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री generates substantial the tourism industry generates substantial economic benefits to both host countries and the tourists' home countries. The primary motivation for a region to promote itself as a tourism destination is the expected economic improvement. देखो, अगर हम लोग भारत की बात करते हैं, India has seen the growth of tourism within the country over the past 30 years. According to a report of Dream Holiday Destination, जो कंपनीज होती है ना, जो मतलब आपको पिकनिक और ये सब टूरिज्म के लिए बुक्ड होती हैं, तो एक कंपनी, अकॉर्डिंग टू अ रिपोर्ट ऑफ ड्रीम हॉलीडे डेस्टिनेशन, इंडिया हैज बीन रैंक्ड वर्ल्ड्स 4th बेस्ट हॉलीडे हेवन. पूरे विश्व में भारत 4थे नंबर पे है. जो भारत जो है वो 4थे नंबर पे है फॉर बेस्ट हॉलीडे हेवन. Over 15 million people today, over 15 million people today are directly engaged in the Indian tourism industry. Tourism promotes invisible trade of our country. Over 10.56 million foreign tourists visit India every year. अच्छा, जब इतने सारे लोग टूरिस्ट आते हैं भारत में तो क्या फायदा होता है? दिस जनरेट्स अ लार्ज रेवेन्यू. इससे रेवेन्यू बढ़ जाता है. दिस जनरेट्स अ लार्ज रेवेन्यू. मोर एंड मोर फॉरेन टूरिस्ट्स अराइव into India every year. Total foreign exchange earning from tourism is about 1.95 thousand crores. Again, I am repeating. Total foreign exchange earning from tourism is about 1.95 thousand crores. See children, tourism has other benefits too. Tourism के और भी कुछ फायदे होते हैं. It promotes national and international integration and understanding. It gives an impetus. It gives an impetus to the local handicrafts and cultural pursuits. There are many kinds of tourism: ecotourism, heritage tourism, adventure tourism, cultural tourism, business tourism and medical tourism. लोग कई सारे, अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग द नेम्स, इको टूरिज्म, हेरिटेज टूरिज्म, एडवेंचर टूरिज्म, cultural tourism, business tourism, and medical tourism. See, on the other side, some favorite destinations of foreign tourists. भाई जो विदेशी लोग आते हैं, जो ट्रैवलर्स आते हैं भारत में टूरिज्म के लिए, उनके कौन कौन से मेन एरियाज होते हैं? कैन एनीवन टेल मी द मेन एरियाज? यस चिल्ड्रन, टेल मी main areas of tourism in India. I am waiting for your response, children. Tell me the main areas or favorite destinations, or you can call it as favorite destinations. Yes, children, tell me the name of the main. Okay. Taj Mahal means your Agra. Okay. Right, children, your answers are correct. Now, see, children, some favorite destinations of the foreign tourists in India are Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, Udaipur, Shimla, Nainital, Mathura, Vrindavan, Goa, and temple town of South India. सी द वेरी नेचुरल ब्यूटी, इन सब जगहों पे क्या है? नेचुरल ब्यूटी है. द वेरी नेचुरल ब्यूटी एंड कल्चरल हेरिटेज ऑफ इंडिया प्रोवाइड्स स्कोप फॉर ए ब्राइट फ्यूचर ऑफ टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री इन इंडिया. देखो ये सारे जो स्कोप्स है, जो लोगों का आना है, हमारे एरियाज पे घूमना है, इससे हमें ये पता चलता है दैट इंडिया वी आर हैविंग अ गुड स्कोप. हमारे टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री का स्कोप ज़्यादा है. So that's why the government has taken several steps for the improvisation of the tourism sector. Now just let's revise the main terms today what we have studied. See, we have talked about international trade. Now children, send the answer of international trade. Define international trade. I need the answer from you all people. Define international trade. Children, send your answer fast. कुशाग्र, अनिरुद्ध, प्रिया, आशी, पारुल, मिस्टी, मलय, all of you send your answers fast. Trading internationally is called international trade. Okay, it can be right answer, but not it's totally perfect. The answer is not totally perfect. Kushagra, we can call it as, we can also say it refers okay, good Anirudh, your answer is correct. In simple words I would say, yes, Priya, your answer is also right. In normal language, I would say It refers to the exchange of capital, goods, and services across international borders or territories is known as international trade. Now, my other point is, what do you mean by globalization? Or I would say, define globalization. Okay, Kushagra, your answer is right, child. Now tell me, what do you mean by globalization? Yes, children, what do you mean by globalization? Send the answer for this. Okay, the answer is right, Kushagra. Now, I should tell you the meaning of the word globalization. See, the process by which business or other organizations develop international influence or start operating on an international scale is known as globalization. Good, Anirudh. Correct answer. Spread of an activity product around the world is called globalization. Right answer? Yes, Priya? Yes, right answer. Now the next question. My next question is, what is multinational corporation? What is multinational corporations? Define this, multinational corporations. Okay, children, your answer is right. In other language, we can say, very good, Kushagra, your answer is right. Good. See, an enterprise, this multinational corporation means an enterprise operating in several countries but managed from one country. मतलब कई देशों में उसका बिजनेस हो रहा है लेकिन वो पूरा बिजनेस एक देश से कंट्रोल होता है. So that is known as multinational corporation. Now the other word, what do you mean by, last question for today, balance of trade? What do you mean by balance of trade? Yes, children, all of you should send the answers. Why only 2, 3, 4 people are sending? Others should also send the answers. Okay, tell me the answer of balance of trade. Okay, no problem. Now children, listen to this answer. Balance of trade क्या होता है इसको ध्यान से सुनना. It is the difference between the value of a country import and export for a given period. There is a difference between the value of a country's import and export for a given period is known as balance of trade. Now children, in the other class, in the next class, I will be doing one chapter of civics that is only left. Political science chapter is left, that I would be doing. And after that, our syllabus would be completed. So till then, take care, and that's all for today.